All right, I believe we are. I think we're live almost. Let's see. Just have to get the old. Get this thing going or not. There we are. We are live. I think. Got a bit of a delay here, technologically speaking. Oh, Happy Saturday. For whatever reason, I'm not picking it up. So I don't know if it's actually working yet. Oh man, what a crazy time the old. Wow, what's going on here? Racers in the GGR are dealing with right now. Okay, cool. All right, so we are live. Awesome. Sorry about that. Always have a few little technical difficulties because I'm a bit of a moron when it comes to that. Well, it's early-ish up here. It's just about 9 a.m. up in Michigan. Mm. Just got my coffee and I was checking just checking out the race. And yeah, holy smokes. That if you watched the last live stream, audio's a bit quiet. Okay, let me check that out. See if I can boost that signal a little bit. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Um, but yeah, essentially, if you watched the last live stream, we were sort of diving into a lot of this Pacific weather, which is getting a little too, it's getting out of hand down there, or it's just becoming more normal Southern Ocean stuff. And um, we were tracking this storm that was coming down, a nice, definitely a severe gale, I would call it, headed right towards the leader, Simon. And it blew over him. It was either yesterday or the night before, and essentially, yeah, he ended up breaking his hydro vane, his self-steering unit, and now is supposedly, as far as the news report says, he's essentially down to like storm sails and trying to figure out what to do. Um, and I put yourself in that situation, and obviously it can be done. You can sail a boat, uh, even around the Horn, without any sort of self-steering. I mean, Knox Johnson did it, the legend, back in the day, and he actually sailed it all the way from just about like Australia, I think, all the way back, lashing the tiller and all that sort of stuff. But I don't know. He was a different breed, I think, of sailor. That's for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I would guess that Simon would probably err on the side of caution because it's not just I'm not going to win this race anymore. It's probably more of a like, this is kind of pretty unsafe, and I don't know if it's worth risking my life to try and keep bashing down these waves towards Cape Horn when, he can start pulling away from the Southern Ocean right now. And I think his destination would probably be up here. I think this is Valparaiso. I'm not 100% sure, but as you zoom in, you can see the agriculture and the little towns and stuff like that. If that is Valparaiso, that's been a, a haven for many a sailor heading towards the Horn. If you've ever read that book, Once is Enough, the Smeatons, they got pitch poled not once, but twice trying to get around the Horn. And each time I think they went back up to Valparaiso and rebuilt the boat and all that sort of stuff. That's a crazy story. Once is not enough. Holy cow. Like, talk about getting hit by a rogue wave. Their trip was epic. Like they left from New Zealand and they stayed in the Furious 50s like the whole time. They were just down in it. And this was back in I think the 70s. I'm not really 100% sure. It might be earlier. It's been a long time since I've read that book. But let's do the little overlay here of the wind. because he's not out of the woods yet by any means. It's still probably the waves are still probably pretty big, more generally swell at this point, but he's got more sort of front lines and stuff like that coming in. Luckily, he's not getting becalmed. That's probably the only good thing because a lot of times you just, I mean, when I was down there, holy cow, it would be, you'd get a gale, last for like 3 days, and then whoosh, it'd be gone, and you would be becalmed, rolling around. You wouldn't be making any any movement at all besides rolling 40 degrees side to side, and it was just a nightmare. But yeah, see this little guy popping up. That's in 2 days time, and that's going to come right down towards him. If he's headed towards Valparaiso up here, so he's right on track to get hit by another probably little gale, or I shouldn't say little. These gales are never little. And then after that one, I think he has another one, at least a big front line. Those are vicious. That he might be able to get north of. I think that will probably be his goal because I think in a lot of ways when these sailors end up sort of heading in for repairs and the boat is broken and all that stuff, they're probably giving them weather information if he can't get it on his own right now, because I think some of them do have weather faxes and things like that on there. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, this is like day after day after day, a new system is rolling in. And we'll actually take a look back here on Windy, because I think Windy really, even though that is windy, it's kind of nice to be able to just play it. But yeah, so he's down in this area here, and so he's got another bit of good wind going for a while, and then things start to escalate again. So that's Sunday, going into Monday, and he should be able to almost get on the edge of all that sort of stuff. But then that stuff from further north comes in, and it'll get a little ugly. But in his position, I would think the plan would be mostly to hove to in the wilder weather and then sail as much as he can. Because if he definitely can't fix this thing and the boat won't sail on its own, then oh, look at that. So by Thursday, it looks like the potential. Now, anything past just a couple of days on these forecasts doesn't really mean anything, but yeah, look at that. That's an ugly little. Ugh. That's an ugly one headed to the horn right there. Would not want to be in that. That's for sure. Hmm. But so we'll just have to sort of keep our thoughts and stuff in him. Look at this thing popping up. Now again, this is way off in the forecast, so hopefully it's definitely not right. But I mean that look at that. He's literally, I mean, there's 40 degrees north. That's the official sailing boundary of the Southern Ocean. So he's going to be in it the whole time. Now, if we go back towards our other racers here, they're definitely getting into the thick of it as well. So you got Kristen, you got Abalash, and you got Michael back there. They're going to be pretty much getting into. So let's see, where are they? They're at They're right, basically smack dab in the middle, just like doing it out. So yeah, they're right around here. So let's take that back and see what they're going to be dealing with. And I'm not trying to sound like hoo hoo, they're in trouble, because I know what it's like down there, and I wouldn't want anybody thinking like, I hope he gets his ass rocked out there. It's because it's real deal. I mean, these people, you have to remember, they are the most isolated. If there weren't more than one of them, they'd be the most isolated human being on the planet. They are so far away from absolutely everything. So it looks like they're going to have some pretty good breeze. And if they stay up there, which they will, because I don't think they can even start heading south much further. They're riding the boundary line. This is where it starts getting interesting, because that system, the southwesterly part of it, which typically is where it blows the hardest in these gales and gets the most confusing because you have two sets of waves. That's what runs you over, and that's where you get caught out. by those cross seas building on top of the swell, and I don't know, it gets pretty scary. Look at that. Yeah, I mean that's an ugly ugly system there. And it'll basically run over them. But yeah, oh man, this is the tricky part of the whole thing right here. I think the Indian Ocean. Oh, geez, look at that over by New Zealand and Tasmania. Woo-wee. It's just not going to get any easier. This is the home stretch for the hard part, but you still have to get out of the Southern Ocean section of the South Atlantic before you really kind of feel like, oh, I think we've made it. I think we've made it through the trades. And then it's all preservation of the boat. Make sure you don't mess something up and break it or get run over or anything like that. But I don't want to get too far ahead because we still haven't even gotten to Cape Horn quite yet. All right, where are other two? Other two are just underneath New Zealand, and then Guy is back here, still on his way to Tasmania. So let's take a look at that area. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so New Zealand, Tasmania. Let's see what the next few days has in store for them. Typically very on off, even this time of the year, but as we creep closer and closer to the Southern Ocean autumn, it will get progressively more, from what I understand, progressively more steady, but a lot stronger winds as well. Not too bad right there. Those are actually some decent winds and stuff to be able to get the heck out of there, and northerly winds over by New Zealand. Those are always kind of nice because they're a bit warmer. But look at this monster coming in. That's in 4 days, 5 days time. Yeesh. Oh boy, I hope Guy can get up there and in the lee. He should be able to. Where exactly? How far away is he? Oh shoot, man. Oh yeah, I think he would be able to get up in there. That's really the key. I know Randall Reeves, when he was doing his first attempt at the figure eight, I think he actually had to when oh yeah, look at that form up. But that's so far in advance. There's just no way they can nail that down. So those things on weather forecasts, those used to scare me half to death. It'd be like 8 days out, and you'd see some monster system, and you're sort of like, oh my gosh, like this is gonna be a hurricane, or and then it never actually happens. So it's not even worth daydreaming about that. I wouldn't take it past 5 days. But yeah, at 5 days, holy smokes. Definitely gonna want one of our wind speeds in there. Steady 42. Oh, that's ugly. That is really ugly. Hmm. All right. Well, thoughts and good vibes over to Simon on his busted little rig, and hopefully he'll be able to get into. Oh, this might actually tell me Puerto Montt. Okay, so it's not Valparaiso. I don't know where Valparaiso is. Should have done some research before I did this. Where is Valparaiso? Mm, can't be way up here, can it? Maybe it is down there. Who knows? In any event, yeah, good vibes. Keep them in your thoughts because it's going to be an ugly couple of days. Could be couple of weeks, who knows, to get back to port if that's what he does. It'll be really interesting if we see a shift in his heading and he starts taking off down south to go around the horn and then go for it. I don't know. I figure I would probably be on that boat trying to figure out a way to get it to sail without me having to be at the helm the whole time, knowing that I've sailed more than halfway around the world, but that's me, and I might also just be like, well, this is no longer safe, which is probably the smarter option, and to head for the nearest port. So I don't know. Good luck to them, and good luck to all the rest of the sailors that are out there because it's going to be a bumpy ride here in the deep South Pacific, Southern Ocean. So other than that, hope you all enjoyed the video and everything, and yeah, more updates to come. We'll just sort of keep plugging these out, and hopefully I might get my bro Sven on here. We'll talk about sales, talk about not only normal cruising sales, but also talk about my sails, the ones he made me for going around the world, which I'm still using today after about 70,000 miles, which is crazy. All right, that